Okay, Cade M has a question. He says, how do we measure the opportunity cost of moving? After raises and promotions, our mortgage is now 8% of our gross. We save 25% for retirement and an additional 15% for other savings. We want to move closer to family in another state. Remote work enables that for us. But buying a new home would prevent us from saving that additional 15%. It might even eat a little bit into that 25% for retirement. What would you say to Cade M?
All right, so his current mortgage is 8%.
Yeah.
Right. He said he's got 15% savings for other stuff.
But it's not 8% rate. It's 8% of his
8% of his gross.
Yeah,
Instead of
exactly.
25%, 8%.
Yeah.
And then what was his savings rate?
25% for retirement.
Okay, so
and then he has 15% to play with to save towards whatever he wants.
Big saver,
basically.
high income. Yeah,
Yes.
This is awesome. Here's the way I would answer your question, Cade. What's the opportunity cost of moving? Man, that's a really that's a difficult way to phrase that question. Here's the question I would think about if I were you or sitting, at your dining room table. Hey, what are your goals? What are the things that you want your money to allow you to do? One might be, hey, we want to be financially independent, have this big pot of money, be able to do all the things that we want to do when we retire. But there might be another goal that says, hey, we really want to be closer to family. We want to have better, lifestyle circumstances in terms of where we live. We want a house that has more room. We want to be able to do this or do that. Our family will be in a different location. There are other things that will become available to us. Those things become very non-monetary. And it's more about, do we have money and resources that can allow us to accomplish those goals without sacrificing other goals than strictly optimization. If strictly optimization was the case, then all of us, everyone, would go out and buy tiny homes. We'd live in tiny homes forever, and we save as much money as we possibly could. But that is counter to some of the other goals that we have. So I think it certainly sounds like you're in a fantastic financial situation, saving 40% of your income. Your mortgage is only 8%. Even though home prices are higher, even though interest rates are higher, it sounds like the home fits into the affordability calculation for you. And so I would think once you've solved the money problem, then you have to kind of think through, okay, what's the why problem? Why do we want to move? Or if we don't move, what would be the compelling reason that we want to stay? And does it align with our ultimate goals?
I think Cade should know money is only a tool. This is why I say this. I think this is why when I wrote Millionaire Mission, I'm nerdy. I love math. I love thinking of the order of operations on how you should do money to maximize every opportunity that every dollar has to become. But I've also gotten to the age where I'm super sentimental, and I think about big decisions I've had to make in my life that were outside of the money. When my dad passed away in my mid-20s, I left kind of the corporate life I was living to go start my first endeavor. I didn't know that was going to be a great financial decision. It was more of the time I wanted to own my time so I could, because I wasn't spending time with people I loved or in the community because I was working all the time and I was making great money. But I was like, I'm going to make a decision because this is good for where I want to be with my life. It was a family and it was a life decision. I think about the fact that when I found out my youngest daughter was going to need an alternative, education because she's on the spectrum, and public school where my oldest daughter had been and wasn't in the area I was living at the time wasn't going to be able to meet her needs. We threw out the finance part of it and looked at it. I shouldn't say we threw it out because we planned for it.
But it wasn't the primary driver.
But we had to make a life decision based upon what was needed in that hard moment of making decisions. So I always put that out front and center. Money's only a tool. It's not, now it's necessary. Don't hear me wrong. That's why it is a tool. It's a necessary tool, but it's not the center of all your decision making. And this is why if you want to take the difference between a plan and a dream, put on your 3D glasses. And what I mean by that is I actually literally, when you have a scenario like this, I want you to write out 3 different versions of how you think life is going to work out if you do this. I actually put pen and paper or bring out your Excel spreadsheet or your Google Sheets and actually do the math and do the planning. And that's where, here's the 3Ds. You've got your dream plan. This is, man, everything worked out exactly like I wanted it to. I'm spending more time with my family. I'm meeting my financial goals. This all worked out beautifully. Then I want you to do the down to earth. This is what you actually think will happen. This is the reality. Yes, there's going to be some hiccups, some speed bumps along the way. And then I want you to do the do-do plan. Now, that's the one nobody ever wants to do, the do-do plan, but you've got to do it because every now and then it's better if you face this directly instead of just basing it off of the dream and the down to earth. But, go ahead and make sure you address, what happens if this thing goes really sideways on you. But once you do that type of homework, Cade, then you have conversations with your loved ones and you have to choose your point and you have to figure out what you're going to do to maximize his life because you only get one. And I want you to do it well, but don't dream, actually create a plan so that you do this and you don't have regrets later.